Beryl's out front, sword in hand, slicing through the air with precise practiced swings. Every move has years of training behind it. But standing nearby, his dad looks more concerned than impressed. And it's not about form or discipline. It's about grandkids. You've been swinging that sword for 20 years, his father says, arms crossed. When are you going to swing a baby into your arms, huh? Beryl stops mid-swing. Seriously? I thought you came to watch me train. No, I came to remind you that swords don't give me grandchildren. That's the real issue here. His dad doesn't care how good his form is, he just wants Beryl to settle down and give him a family already. But Beryl isn't fazed. He's been hearing this for years. And while his father complains, kids from the dojo run up shouting, Master! A reminder that Beryl is raising the next generation, just not the way his dad wants. Later, during dinner, his dad keeps going, trying to convince his wife to team up with him. She shuts it down quickly. It'll happen when it happens. Then, looking at Beryl with a bit more intent, it will happen. Before he can respond, there's a knock at the door. Standing there is a woman in full armor, calm, composed, white-haired. It's Alyosha, one of Beryl's old students, now a commander in the Royal Guard. She joins them for tea, and it doesn't take long to get to the point. She's here on official business, recommending Beryl as an instructor for the Royal Knights. Not a small offer. His dad reacts like they're recruiting him for war. If you say no, they'll kill you. Alyosha just laughs. They won't kill him, but the replacement task won't be pretty either. Basically, he's going. As they prepare to leave, Beryl's dad throws in one last line, find a wife while you're there. Embarrassed, Beryl tries to wave him off. But Alyosha, she doesn't seem bothered. If anything, she hints that she doesn't mind the age gap. Beryl blinks. Wait, what did you just say? She immediately plays it off. Nothing. Yeah, nothing. Sure. The next day, they're on the road. Just the two of them in a carriage headed to the capital. Beryl zones out, lost in thought, when his eyes catch her sword. His old sword. He mentions how it's not really fit for a royal commander, but she just smiles and says, This is the only sword I want. Smooth. Real smooth. They arrive at the capital. Alyosha drops him off for the night, and by the next morning, Beryl's standing in front of a group of elite knights, being introduced as the Swordmaster. Alyosha praises him openly, telling the room he's stronger than she'll ever be. He tries to keep it humble, but some of the knights don't look impressed. No time to worry about that now. Turns out he won't have to be here full-time, just a few sessions a month. He can still run his dojo. But before he even finishes that thought, Master! A familiar voice echoes through the hall. Croony appears, another one of his old students, and she's definitely not shy about showing her excitement. Then, just like that, we jump ahead. Beryl is walking home, though how far he actually walked, no one knows. What matters is he makes it back, only to find strangers sitting with his dad. One of them, a former student-turned-adventurer who just had a baby. And his dad? He's already offered the guy Beryl's job as dojo instructor. Just like that. His dad shrugs. You can always stay in the capital and find a wife. Of course. The next morning, Beryl walks alongside Alyosha, explaining what happened. How his job got handed off while he was away. She tries to act surprised. Wow, what an unfortunate, terrible turn of events. Yeah, she's definitely not heartbroken about him being stuck in the capital. They're house hunting because, let's be honest, Beryl can't live in an inn forever. But Alyosha, ever the optimist, drops a bomb. You could stay at my house, you know. Beryl shuts that down quicker than a sword swing. No thanks, he says, clearly thinking she's joking. Before they can move on from that awkward moment, suddenly a fiery redhead walks into the scene like she's on a mission, and it's clear she's got some history with Alyosha. Alyosha tries to avoid her, but the redhead's having none of it. We have nothing to talk about, Alyosha says, but the redhead cuts her off, turning her gaze to Beryl. Who's the mystery man you're calling Master? Beryl, slow on the uptake, figures out that this isn't just some random adventurer, this is a black-ranked adventurer, and she's looking at him with a deep, emotional stare. Master? She says, as though he trained half the town. Then it hits Beryl. He remembers her. Oh, wait, you're Serena, right? Turns out Serena is someone Beryl helped years ago when she was stranded near the river. He nursed her back to health and taught her sword fighting. She's come a long way since then, And now she's calling him Master, like it's the most natural thing in the world. The tension between Alyosha and Serena is palpable. And Beryl? He's caught in the middle of it. But after all the drama, they do manage to find a nice, tidy place for Beryl. It's nothing special, but it'll do. Beryl thanks both women and asks them to get along. They look at each other like two cats sizing each other up, but hey, baby steps, right? Back in the training hall, one of Beryl's students is putting on quite the show. This guy is spinning around like he's auditioning for a ballerina role. But hey, he's breaking swords in the process, so maybe they've got some secret dance training going on? Anyway, after the dramatic moves, this student decides to step up and question Beryl's strength. Yep, you heard that right. He's calling out the guy who's trained half the town and, oh, by the way, his own commander, Alyosha, vouched for him. I don't trust how strong Beryl really is, he says. And here's the kicker. He challenges Beryl to a mock battle. Alyosha, of course, doesn't hesitate to agree. It's almost like Beryl doesn't even have a say in his life anymore. So now Beryl's standing across from this spinning whirlwind of a student, preparing for the fight of his life. His only thought? I can't embarrass Alyosha in front of everyone, but there's no way around it. He's got to show up or risk looking weak. The student goes all in, and the animation here is on point. You can practically feel the intensity of every move, the fight choreographed to perfection. This guy's strong, no doubt about it. His hits are hard, and every swing looks like it could break something. But Beryl, he's not sweating it. He's been doing this for years, and his wisdom shows. He knows when to block, when to deflect, and when to let his opponent tire themselves out. The student gets angrier by the second, trying harder and harder to land a hit, but Beryl's cool and calm, deflecting every blow with ease. Then the student decides to bust out his signature spinning move, thinking he's got Beryl cornered. But nope, Beryl's already behind him, sending a shock through the student as he realizes he's been outclassed. At that point, the student has no choice but to concede. But instead of being defeated, he's happy. He's impressed. Beryl, you were amazing, he says, practically begging Beryl to teach him. All the students are now looking at him like they've just discovered the best instructor ever. Later at the bar, Beryl's enjoying a drink with his new pupil. The guy's buying rounds to apologize, clearly still in awe of what he just witnessed. Meanwhile, Alyosha looks a little tipsy, clearly enjoying herself more than she should. Cut to Beryl's dad, who's chatting with the new dojo instructor. He's all smiles, thanking the guy for taking the job. But there's something ominous in the air. It's time for Beryl to realize how strong he really is, his dad says, unaware that the true swordmaster is standing right under his nose. A few days have passed, and it's clear. Beryl is now the man in charge. The respect from his students is real, and it shows. But despite all the praise, after a grueling training session, Beryl's out of breath. The guy's been working hard, no doubt. And just as he's trying to catch his breath, Crunny comes running up like a whirlwind. So, have you seen the city yet? She asks, practically dragging him into a tour plan. I'd love to show you around. Beryl, clearly not in the mood for more work, but not wanting to disappoint, agrees. Can't say no to a cute, excited girl, even if he's about to pass out. Meanwhile, Alyosha's walking down the hall, clearly lost in thought. She's thinking about her master, Beryl, and what it really means to be a true sword master. She figures, to be great, you have to stay humble, no fancy titles. But, let's be real, she didn't really have that option. She wanted Beryl to shine, to be recognized for the legend he is, and that meant getting him to the capital. So, what's a girl to do? Pull a few strings, of course. She orchestrated this whole thing. The capital, the knights, Beryl being here, it was all part of her plan to make sure her master wasn't wasting away in some remote dojo. She wanted the world to see what she saw in him, and now they would. Alyosha walks the halls of the castle, her boots echoing softly on the polished stone. From the outside she looks composed, calm, unshaken. But inside, her mind is somewhere else entirely. She's remembering the first time she stood outside his dojo. She was just a timid girl back then, staring nervously at the entrance. No strength, no discipline. Just a lot of fear. But the man who opened the door didn't meet her with harsh words or cold eyes. He smiled, kind eyes. That's what disarmed her more than any sword ever could. From that day on, he trained her. Every swing, every stance, every correction. He taught her how to hold a sword, how to move her feet properly, how to channel strength through her body. It was full-body training before she even knew what that meant. It was exhausting. But it was also the first time she ever felt like she was becoming something more. And she did get stronger. Slowly but surely. Then came the day for a mock battle, to test how far she'd come. She faced him, her master, Beryl, and he was like a wall. No matter what she tried, he was one step ahead. Every attack was deflected, every motion read before she even made it. But he didn't mock her. Even when she failed, he praised her. Every small improvement he noticed. And that made her want to keep pushing, to get even better. Back then, she didn't fully understand how strong he was. She thought, maybe, this is just how instructors were supposed to be. How could she have known? Well, maybe there was a hint. Like that day when Beryl's dojo got challenged by another school. Every single one of Beryl's students wiped the floor with their opponents. Alyosha was proud. But also a little curious. How could someone that strong live such a quiet life? Later that day, she realized she'd dropped her hairpin at the rival dojo. She told the others to head back, promising she'd catch up. It was just a hairpin. She'd be quick. But when she arrived, one of the boys from the losing dojo was already holding it. "Looking for this?" he said, with that smug grin that always means trouble. The others were there too. Embarrassed, angry, humiliated. They surrounded her. She was alone. One of them raised a weapon. He was about to strike until the hit landed not on her but against someone's shoulder. Beryl. He was already there. A little hurt, yeah, but calm as ever. And within seconds he was moving, disarming them one by one with smooth practice strikes of his wooden sword. No yelling, no rage, just precision. As they walked home together, she apologized, staring at the ground. "I'm sorry." But he just looked ahead and said, "I should have come with you. That's on me. I'm just glad you're safe." She never forgot that day. Even after she graduated from his dojo, she didn't really want to leave. A part of her just wanted to stay. Keep training under him, stay near the one person who made her feel grounded. But something inside her needed more. She wanted to know, or maybe prove, just how far his teachings could take her. Maybe she wanted to prove how strong he really was. So what did she do? She applied to join the Royal Guard. Not because she had some noble dream of protecting the kingdom. No, it was personal. It was a challenge. If she could rise through the ranks in the most elite force in the nation, then she'd have her answer. And she was right. None of them could touch her. Not the students, not even the instructors. One by one, she cut through them all. Her footwork, her instincts, her swordplay. Everything he taught her was on another level. And she carried it all on her back like a badge of honor. Now I'm just wondering, how strong is Beryl really, if his student crushed the entire Royal Guard? Fast forward 10 years. She gave everything she had to her duty, sweat, blood, and time. She climbed rank after rank, proving herself again and again. And the moment she earned the power to appoint new instructors, she didn't hesitate. She chose him. She brought him from that quiet, forgotten dojo in the middle of nowhere, straight to the heart of the kingdom. If that's not love, I don't know what is. Where is Master, anyway? Then she stops. Her eyes widen slightly as a realization hits. Oh, he's out in town? With Crunny? That cute little squirrel of a girl? Alyosha's eye twitches. Shh, she's so lucky, having a date with Master. And just like that, the commander of the Royal Guard is suddenly just a jealous former student grumbling to herself on the way to training. Meanwhile, Beryl and the ever-energetic Crunny are running around the market, stuffing their faces with meat, laughing, and having a carefree time. It's a peaceful day, the kind of day he didn't even know he needed, when suddenly they hear a soft voice call out. "Master?" They both turn, and standing there is a black-haired girl with a robe and a gentle smile. Her presence seems oddly familiar to Beryl, though he can't place it right away. The way she looks at him, though? It's like she's been expecting him. And then Crunny, with a beaming face, rushes over to the girl. "Fachili, you're here!" Fachil. That name rings a bell. Wait, that's right. She's Fachili, the girl who trained alongside Crunny at Beryl's dojo. Beryl should remember her, but all he can recall are those dead, distant eyes. Yet here she is, smiling and carrying the graduation sword. Why does that feel so off? What's going on, Fachil? Beryl asks, trying to keep his confusion in check. Last I saw, you were training with Crunny. But now you're Star of the Magic Corps, she cuts in, interrupting him with a slight smirk. I know. You probably thought I'd never leave the sword behind. Beryl nods, feeling a little disappointed, but trying to hide it. It's a strange feeling, watching a former student walk a path that's so different from the one she once trained for. But before he can think more on it, the market commotion escalates. A thief darts past them, snatching an old woman's purse, and the crowd panics. Beryl doesn't even move. This is when Fachil steps forward. With a practiced flick of her wrist, the sword suddenly pulses with magic, transforming before Beryl's very eyes into something far beyond just a blade. And in an instant it shoots a blast of magic, neatly catching the thief's bag. The thief stumbles, now caught in a magical net of sorts, completely immobilized. Nice catch, Beryl mutters, clearly impressed, but Fachil doesn't seem to care about the praise. I always preferred the sword, she replies almost wistfully as she looks at the glowing weapon. Even if it's more magic than steel now, it's still my sword. The next morning, Beryl wakes up early, thinking it's the perfect opportunity for a quiet stroll through the empty streets. Everyone's still asleep, the town peaceful, so he's enjoying the silence. But then, out of nowhere, he spots a girl. Young-looking, maybe the height of a middle schooler. He squints, confused, and thinks, oh, a child? Lost? But the girl, sharp and with a scowl, looks right back at him and says, How dare you call me a child? Are you Beryl? Beryl blinks. Turns out, her name is Lucy. She's the commander of the Magic Corps. Wait, what? A commander of a whole corps? She looks like she should be in school, not leading a military unit. Was she stalking him? That's the only logical explanation. But Beryl, not entirely convinced, still thinks it's some kind of joke. She looks so young, it's hard to take her seriously. Lucy, though, isn't having any of his doubt. She's got authority in her eyes. But Beryl? He's still caught up in the fact that she looks like she's playing pretend. But Lucy, not missing a beat, lifts her hand and, boom! A massive fireball erupts in the air with a deafening crackle. It's so intense that Beryl stumbles back in shock, his eyes wide. Okay, now that's not a child tricking him. Now even Beryl can't ignore the reality. He's staring at a legit mage, one with some serious power. As they start walking together, Lucy casually mentions that she heard about Beryl from Fachil. They'd been talking about how Fachili's sword skills were so impressive, so naturally, Beryl must be equally strong, right? But Beryl, always humble, brushes it off with a grin. Nah, Fachil's just good. She's the one who's amazing. They continue walking through the streets, Beryl still a bit disoriented, but mostly lost in his own thoughts. He doesn't realize where Lucy's leading him until they finally round a corner. Wait. They're not on a regular path anymore. This is the battle arena. Lucy gives him a sideways glance, a smirk playing at her lips. Beryl finally catches on. Wait, what's going on here? With a smirk as flaming orbs ignite around her. She's ready to throw hands. Well, spells. Beryl, calm but firm, says, We shouldn't be fighting. Her voice sharpens. Am I not good enough for you? He shakes his head, eyes steady. No, I'm the one who's too weak. Lucy's laugh cuts through the air. We'll soon find out. And just like that, fireballs start flying. Explosive and wild, but Beryl's too nimble. He weaves through them effortlessly. That only fuels her excitement. With a wicked grin, she flips the element. Massive ice boulders crash down like meteorites. But Beryl doesn't flinch. He draws his sword and slices through them like they're paper. He realizes something. He can't keep dodging forever. If he wants to end this, he has to get close. And he does, blitzing forward, nearly reaching her, but that's when she releases a crackling wave of electricity. She'd been holding back this whole time. Even then, he still thinks, I just need to get in close. But just as he moves again, the entire atmosphere shifts. She's not smiling anymore. Her hand is raised, and a dark aura wraps around it. Chaos tier magic. A black spell that doesn't just burn or freeze, it destroys. His instincts scream, If that hits me, I die. Then, nothing. She pulls her hand back, dismissing the spell with a flick of her wrist. Forget it, she says, suddenly smiling again. I got caught up like a kid. Beryl stares, stunned. But now I get it. You really are strong. No wonder Fachil admires you. Looking at her, even if she's older than him, she still looks like a cute little girl. It's honestly hard to stay mad. She jokes, maybe next time I can test my new spells on you. Yeah, no thanks. After that chaos, things calm down. Beryl heads to the training fields, where he meets Fashil again. She walks up, holding a small potion bottle. I apologize for my master's behavior, she says formally. This should help. She's composed, but it's clear she respects him. And Beryl? He's still trying to figure out why everyone around here is acting like he's some kind of legend. He accepts the potion with a quiet thanks. But there's no time to rest. Aliucia finds him next, walking fast and looking serious. The Adventurers Guild made a request. It's urgent. He follows her without question and ends up in a hall where Serena is already waiting. She steps forward and calmly asks for his help. There are new recruits, and they need a proper instructor. Someone who's seen real danger. Beryl's modest as usual. I'm not that good. But in his head, memories surface. Being a kid, rushing into a dungeon and getting the life beaten out of him. He remembers how scared he was, how unprepared. But Serena and Aliucia, they don't see that kid anymore. They see a master, a warrior, someone they trust. And even though they're trying to keep it civil, the tension between them is obvious. Their words may be polite, but the side eyes they throw at each other are anything but friendly. It's like they're silently competing over who gets to speak higher of him, who gets to stand closer. Beryl, completely missing the subtext, just wonders why they can't get along when they're clearly on the same page. Fast forward to the guild hall. Beryl, still trying to avoid the whole guild thing, finds himself dragged along by Aliucia. He thought he could just refuse, but there's really no backing out now. And who does he run into when he steps in? None other than Lucy, sipping tea like it's the most natural thing in the world. Of course, she's there, always popping up at the most unexpected moments. She's the one who recommended Beryl for this job. Can you believe it? This little kid, a commander? Beryl still can't wrap his head around it. The whole guild hall is a bit tense. Beryl sits down, clearly out of his element. The guild master and his assistant are present, and you can feel the weight of the situation settling in. Then, Megan, the assistant, drops the bomb. He starts grilling Beryl like he's some kind of test subject. Okay, sure. Maybe a black rank adventurer vouched for you, and maybe the commander of the Magic Corps vouched for you, and maybe even the commander of the Royal Guard vouched for you. But how do we know you're really strong? Beryl is caught off guard. Everyone else in the room is looking at Megan like he's lost it. But it's absurd. How is it possible that everyone's still second-guessing his worth, even though he's literally been appointed as the special instructor for the Royal Guard? And now, as if things couldn't get weirder, Serena challenges him to a fight. It's a test of his abilities. She's more than ready, though. The way she looks at him, it's clear she's excited, eager even, to help her master prove his worth. Flashback. The scene shifts, and we're taken back to a time before Beryl became the Royal Guard instructor. A memory of Serena's past surfaces. It's a peaceful, serene moment at first. Serena's in a carriage with her parents, laughing, happy. But out of nowhere, everything changes. A massive monster appears, suddenly crashing into the carriage. Panic ensues. In the chaos, Serena's mother, in her final moments, does something selfless. She throws her daughter into the river, trying to save her from the monster's grasp. That's when Beryl finds her. He's there, in the right place at the right time. He pulls her out of the water, saving her life, and brings her to his home. His family nurses her back to health, but Serena is broken. She's lost, grieving and struggling to eat. Her world crumbled around her. How could anyone blame her? After everything, she's left in a world where nothing makes sense anymore. Days pass, and Serena remains in a deep sadness. But then one day, she hears something from outside her window. The sound of a sword swinging. It's Beryl, out there, training. He's clearly training in a spot where she can see him, and it isn't by accident. He knows she's watching. When she opens the window, their eyes meet. Beryl, without saying a word, offers her a look. It's one of understanding. He silently says, "You can have this sword." That moment changes everything. Serena, once lost in despair, finds something to focus on, something to live for. Beryl starts training her, showing her how to wield a sword, teaching her the ways of the dojo. He doesn't push her. He's patient, guiding her through the pain and fear that she's been carrying. Slowly but surely, she finds her strength again. Her spirit lifts. She starts eating again. She smiles again. And as she trains, Serana's potential shines. She's not just good, she's got the makings of something great, enough potential for dual swords. But then, the day comes. Her adopted family is found, and Serena has to leave Beryl's home. It's a bittersweet goodbye. She's sad, but she promises him something. She will repay him one day for everything he's done for her. And now, years later, that promise is coming to fruition. She's standing in front of him, ready to fight him to prove his worth, just as he once helped her find her own. Serena and Beryl stand facing each other, ready for the fight that has been years in the making. They bow to each other, an exchange of respect, a ritual that has become so familiar. Beryl, watching her closely, feels a swell of pride in his chest as he sees her go through the proper greeting. She remembers. It's a small thing, but it means everything to him. It's proof that she hasn't forgotten what he taught her. Serena, on the other hand, is practically glowing. Her eyes are full of determination, and her smile isn't the only thing that's showing it. She's ready. The fight begins. Without hesitation, Serena lunges into the air, closing the distance between them in an instant. She's quick, and she's powerful. Every attack is a blur of speed and precision, a flurry of sword swings coming at him from every angle. Beryl is forced to react in the moment, deflecting each strike with practiced ease. But even as Serena gets faster, even as she becomes more powerful, she can't land a hit. Beryl reflects every single blow, his stance unwavering. Inside, he thinks, she's so much faster and stronger than before. But what he doesn't realize, what he can't appreciate in the heat of the moment, is just how difficult it is to block the attacks of a black-rank adventurer. Serena may be improving, but even with her power, she's up against someone who has honed his skill for years. But there's one thing Beryl notices, a small weakness. It's subtle, something only someone who's been paying attention would catch. Serena's left hand. Even after all the training, it's still not as strong or as coordinated as her right. It's a tiny flaw, but Beryl knows that every fighter has one. Taking advantage of her brief opening, Beryl uses his superior skill to disarm her of one sword. Serena doesn't hesitate. She immediately presses forward with the other sword, rushing at him with everything she has. That's when Beryl changes his approach. With a quick sweep of his leg, he knocks Serena's feet out from under her, sending her crashing to the ground. After the fight, Serena lands on the ground with a soft thud, but there's no frustration in her eyes. Instead, she's smiling. Her face is glowing with happiness, not from victory, but from the realization that she has grown. She lost, yes, but it's a loss she's thankful for. After the intense sparring match, Megan and the Guildmaster are finally convinced of Beryl's strength. Megan, who had previously doubted Beryl's abilities, watches in silent awe as Serena is easily overpowered, her skills nowhere near matching his. It's clear now. Beryl is the real deal. No more questions. He's not just some random person who got recommended. He's proven himself beyond a shadow of a doubt. The Guildmaster gives him a nod of approval, signaling that Beryl has earned the position. Looks like Beryl has secured the job he tried so hard to avoid. Now, fast forward to a few days later. Serena and Beryl are leading 3 young adventurers toward a nearby dungeon for some training. The group is ready, all geared up, excited to face whatever challenges lie inside. Serena, as always, is focused, her eyes scanning every shadow in the dungeon, while Beryl walks beside her, always vigilant. They reach the dungeon, and to their surprise, the usual goblin population is much lower than expected. Instead of a full-on battle, they clear out the dungeon in record time. Beryl and Serena exchange puzzled glances. This wasn't supposed to be so easy. As they walk toward the exit, the ground trembles beneath their feet. A creature so large it seems to block out the light. A Xenograbble, a high-ranking monster known for its ferocity. Its head, a flaming bird's skull, lets out an ear-splitting screech, sending chills down everyone's spine. The episode cuts off as the two prepare to face the Xenograbble, their eyes locked in determination. Serena's expression is a mixture of focused readiness and concern. She knows the fight ahead will be unlike anything they've faced before. Will they be able to survive the encounter with the high-ranking monster, or is this the end of the road for their team?